Good evening, good morning. Thank you very much for having me and for being so kind with your first opening question rather than be putting me onto the spot. That's quite entertaining. I did enjoy listening to that debate a few minutes ago, which I'm sure will continue for days and weeks ahead. So, yeah, look, it's the one premier event that we're all waiting to see attend. It's one of the most powerful tech events in the world. There are others that are big in terms of volumes, but this is the one that really stands alone as the premier event of bringing together, big heavyweights in the world of technology, media, and the telco world. And lots of business will get done this week. Typically, it's a show that's very much focused on home entertainment, wearables, PCs, laptops. And in terms of genres, it's very much around video, the streaming types of services and gaming. Increasingly over the last couple of years, it's morphed into more of kind of a car automotive type of event. And you could almost be mistaken for replacing the sea of consumer with car. And that really is an area where all of the big tech giants are piling into, given the need for having faster processors, the cloud, the amount of data centers required to serve all of the data that's being generated in real time from the cloud, from the car to the network. So those are kind of some of the areas that typically have been heavily debated, and we'll probably see a lot more of that. And of course, you have the weird, the wild, and the crazy type of products, which will never see the time of day beyond just on the show floor.
Paolo, I'm going to steer around the car conversation in case I end up parked in a Musk conversation again. But I want to ask you about Trump, because there is a big theme at play that the animal spirits are back in the United States and that perhaps corporates will focus their attention on investing in the US. And when it comes to technology, and Microsoft already saying it intends to spend $80 billion this year on constructing data centers, the bulk of that will actually be in the US market. Do you think the focus now, as we talk about tech that has really shown a lot of breadth in recent years, that thanks to Trump, we're now going to see a narrowing of focus in tech investments in the United States in particular?
Well, this is kind of the grey area, right? And obviously, there's some uncertainty given the change in the political environment. And, the tech sector is largely seeing huge innovation, and there's a lot of focus on AI particularly. And that's something that the administration cannot ignore, and that's something that they need to think about very carefully for the next decade when we talk about the next generation of innovation and the services that be generated beyond that. And, and obviously, when you look at some of those giants that have invested heavily, not just the Microsoft this world, but you've got the Qualcomms, Amazons, you've got Alphabet with Google and others. That's a line that the Trump and the new administration needs to tread very, very carefully and not stifle that type of innovation and investment moving forward. And particularly when you think about the next generation of computing and devices, it's going to rely heavily on the innovation that's coming out now in AI to power all of that goodness. So that's an area they do need to tread carefully. And we probably won't hear much of it, to be honest with you, this week at the show, but that's something that we're going to hear a lot more of to provide a bit more guidance and clarity, because the last thing that the industry really needs is that kind of restriction and limiting, that element of competition. And obviously, ultimately, it's the consumers who have to pay the price.